I don't know if we should start with the elephant in the room with this Starbucks shit. I've got nothing but calls all day over this.
Coming to you live, the Pistol Podcast.
Scream in the microphone.
What? Starbucks?
I don't know. Something happened in Tempe.
Right.
And the barista asked the officers to leave because one person felt uncomfortable or something.
Oh, my God.
Said they didn't feel safe.
Tempe PD put out a statement about it from the officers union.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, we'd like to open this dialogue with you. I mean, last time they did that, they shut down the Starbucks corporation worldwide and gave a day of training for sensitivity because they asked 2 black guys to leave that were just sitting there.
Yeah, but they won't do that for the cops. I
No.
do that.
No.
I don't know.
So I don't know why not.
I liked it better back in the old days when you could just put a sign up that said, we have the right to refuse service to anybody. And then you go about your business. They don't like you.
Kind of.
So, but that's what my phone's been going off since.
Oh, really?
Yesterday, people calling and texting, and LA calls, and they're like, "Really? You talk shit about LA, and they're fucking kicking your cops out of the Starbucks."
Well, you know what? If you don't like it, go Dutch.
Yeah.
Go Dutch, baby. Buy your own dang on coffee.
Just make your own.
Dutch Brothers. DutchBrothers.com. Located at.
Calm down.
This guy and his commercials, man.
Are you all right, T? Are you hungover?
You guys are gonna get sued for trademark infringements.
Probably.
Not if they get customers, then they'll love us.
Mark Frymark trademark infringement case.
Okay.
I'd like to see that on a court doc.
Right.
So
That's
before
too many marks.
before we get started, I gotta check on T. Are you all right?
Shh, I'm sleeping.
Because it's gonna get loud in here.
I know.
T's
I know it's going to get loud.
Oh my God, she's hurting. Look at her.
T's
I'm hurting,
hungover.
Linda.
Well, you didn't. You get us all in.
T is hungover,
to.
and I've been in Mexico
Right.
for 4 days. I am hungover. Like I'm sweating tequila right now. I'm sick. I'm thick. Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll give you this T-shirt.
Watch out, he'll
you can
drain
wring it
that
out,
shit.
It's full of agave, man.
Oh, jeez.
It's a good shit.
I am hurting.
But I do, but shout out to Mark for bringing back. I'm pretty sure this is a federal offense. But
Cuban cigars smuggled across the border.
I'd like. Do I get one?
Customs.
do you smoke cigars?
I do.
Got one over on you.
They're not illegal to bring back anymore, dumbass.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit closer to the mic.
Sorry.
You can bring them back.
How's that?
It didn't matter. I didn't declare it.
Just because you shoved them up your ass doesn't mean.
It has
You
a better
have been to
burn.
prison, haven't you?
Hey, whoa! We got way ahead of ourselves here.
Whoa.
Let's start the podcast.
Just to,
Okay, Mark.
just to be fair, there was only 5 cigars.
And a box like this,
They were
4
the
inches wide.
Churchills.
not singularities. Okay, we didn't go prison style on this one.
They weren't rollies. They were Taylors.
Yes.
All right. So
I'm a gentleman.
we're back again in the studio. Mark's with us. T is partially with us, and we're gonna find out what happened, or there's video somewhere.
Nah.
Apparently karaoke.
Karaoke was involved.
And joining us today is Justin, right? And Justin, I'll let you kind of, if you want to tell your last name, that's fine, your department. If not, we'll just say it was a rather large department in Arizona, however you see fit. But we brought you on because you were one of the first members of Pistol that came through. And at the time, you were kind of in a really, 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 really fucked spot. And you and I have grown close together over the years and all the nonsense we get into. And just so you know, T, we do have rules in Pistol, which I sometimes don't agree with.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you know how they say, policies are because officers fuck up. Well, we have rules because people in Pistol fuck up. Mm-hmm. And Justin is one of the rules.
I am a proud owner of a rule.
Yeah.
I love it. I am a proud owner.
And it's not the rule you would think.
Oh, it's not?
It's not the do not sell drug rule. That's not Justin.
No, that was not me.
No,
because
I can honestly say I didn't do that.
yeah,
I
that was way after him.
I
so
got
I
the
didn't think that
I got
was
the
him.
no fighting rule.
I didn't hear
Yeah.
about this do not sell drug rule. I got to hear about that one.
Oh yeah. Well, just put 2 and 2 together.
I got it. Yeah.
Somebody tried to sell drugs,
No, somebody tried to buy
or
drugs.
somebody tried to buy.
Oh no,
drugs.
no, I did hear about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Up in Anthem.
No.
No. Okay. Well, then there's 2
Well,
of them.
actually, we might have to edit out where our shit's at now, Justin. So I appreciate
Oh, my
that.
bad. Up somewhere? No.
Yeah. So again, only Justin could fuck that up into
What?
a rule somewhere.
Yeah, you got to fucking tell me the rules about this shit. I don't know. We can't
Well,
say
you-
where we're
You know
at.
what some of the rules are in
Yes,
Pistol,
I
which is
do.
anonymity.
Yeah. Oh,
and
my bad.
we don't disclose members' names unless they're on here and they choose to.
Sure.
So, clearly,
Anonymity, Justin. God.
yeah.
I'm leaving. Fuck it.
So, I'll let you start off and kind of introduce yourself and you go from there.
Yeah, my name's Justin. I was a Phoenix police officer for 10 years, and you want me to just go right into it, or what's up?
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
However it flows.
What about your background? Did you always want to be a cop?
Yeah, I grew up in the city of Mesa.
That's a fine.
Fuck, Mormonville.com.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I don't remember any Mormons I arrested in.
Not that
Mesa.
there's
No, we're
anything
North
wrong
Mesa.
with
North
that.
Mesa. Northeast Mesa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not down by
the
Dobson.
nice Mesa.
Not down to Dobson and Maine where I'm staying right now.
Calm down.
No, yeah, I grew up in Mesa. I was there. My dad was a reserve deputy for almost 33 years. So, growing up, I was exposed to all that. And at the age of 15, my dad started taking me on ride-alongs to the Salt River and all that. So, I got exposed to law enforcement real quick, and he put it in my head that's what he wanted me to do. So I followed it, and I got to see some real interesting stuff. Nothing that I ever thought I'd see when I became a cop. I thought it was all drunks and bathing suits and women, because Salt River was just that, just drunks and driving around there and hitting on women. So I
You
thought,
watched too much Chips.
Yeah,
growing
no
up.
shit. Right?
Fuck.
Fucking Poncherello over
You're
here.
old. Chips.
Saw my first dead
Shut your
body at
face.
15. I was exposed to all that. Saw my first officer involved shooting at 16. So it was like, okay, that was kind of a neat thing. So I grew up on figuring that I wanted to do that. So when I went to college, got my associate's degree in criminal justice because it should help me. And then, I tested for Mesa and Phoenix. And
SO.
funny thing is, I did. I tested for SO. And the reason they wouldn't hire me because I admitted to running over a fucking dog. So my dad's old agency wouldn't hire me. I couldn't get a little boost there, but he ended up helping me get hired in Phoenix. So I got hired in Phoenix in 2002.
Right. So
Yeah.
right out the academy, you ended up in what area?
I went in Squaw Peak, 7700 area, and 24th Street in Camelback area. Our main station's up north there.
So for our listeners, is that like a good area, bad area?
No, it's a
quasi-
it's a great area. You know,
good area.
it's the Biltmore, it's the
Clean.
it's the safe area.
It's the rich people.
Yeah, it's DUI lane. You sit on
Yeah.
Camelback and just catch DUIs coming from Scottsdale all night.
Yeah.
That's all we did. It was boring. Nothing really happened over there.
How long were you in that area?
I stayed over there till about 2004, so about 2 years, and then transferred over to the West Side 73 area, which for everybody listening is 23rd Avenue and Indian School. That was
Not the rich area.
how things
Fine
have changed.
establishment
Yes.
area that you're in
Yes.
now. Is that
Not-
Maryville?
That's no, that's still 700.
Yeah.
The freeway broke it up. The other
Okay.
side would be Maryville.
Ugh.
But
And-
that's a seedy side of the valley.
Yeah,
for
that's
those that
that's
aren't
true. At
familiar
the
with it.
time back then in 2004, you still had a lot of the black gangs over there,
Yeah.
and the Mexican gangs are just now starting up over there.
Yeah. The Mexican gangs had the other side of the freeway
yeah,
in Maryville, right?
Mexican gangs had the Garfield area and the 21st Avenue area.
All right. And so you go over to that new area. Was there any critical incidents that occurred when you were first starting in those 2 years in the nicer areas?
No, there were some couple officer-involved shootings. I mean, I was on, but I wasn't actually involved in. I was, perimeter and, standing around doing nothing type stuff, but I was never actually involved directly in them.
Busy, but still busy.
Still busy. Yeah, kept us busy.
So
how many officers did you have on your squad? And
10.
basically
10 was a full squad at that time.
And what size of an area were you guys covering?
From 20, or let's say from the 51.
Just to give me a square mile.
Yeah, I don't know, probably 20
miles.
20 square miles.
10 guys on 20 miles.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Sorry.
and so when you get over to 700, is it like a shock to you?
You know what it was? 71 was still kind of slow, so I was still breaking in. I thought I knew what I was doing. I got over to 73, and it was just going to call by yourself and having no backups. Stolen vehicles everywhere. We're chasing everything. I mean, every night it was just so exciting. We were running and gunning, and it just was a whole new thing for me. And being that young, I was excited.
How old were you at the time?
I was 23. Yeah, I was
good
shit-
age to be a cop. Right
Yeah,
there.
oh
Perfect
God.
age.
Good age and good time to be a
Yeah,
cop. too.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Good
Dollars
age.
for dollars. You were just hooking and
Oh
hooking.
yeah, off duty and everything. It was amazing, and we always got held over because there was always shootings, and during that time, shooting, homicide, and
Sweet.
you're allowed 2 to 3 people off. So most of the time we're running with 7 guys in a huge area, and good luck. If there's a 998 or anything coming out, the guys have to get over there, and you're doing a 998 with 10 people. And,
That's an officer
involved shooting. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, so and it was happening all the time over there. It was nice. It wasn't nice. But
No.
excuse me, it wasn't nice, but it was
That's
busy.
what you signed for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
So do
playtime.
I.
Yeah,
That's what I want.
yeah.
And
absolutely.
so, any critical incidents there during that time frame?
Yeah, August 28th of 2004 at Las Palmeritas, Eric Wolf and Jason White were shot and killed on a incident that could have been absolutely, and I'm going to say this because I truly believe this, absolutely stopped. A guy had barricaded himself inside of a apartment room and said that he was going to kill somebody and that he had killed somebody, and the information was coming in so quickly, officers made a decision to line up at the door and kick it because they thought they needed to do a hostage rescue.
Oh, wow.
Information, and I was on scene. I was actually across the way doing rifle support, and it was information was coming in that the guy was on the phone with the 911,
Right.
telling him, "Don't come in. I'm going to kill you."
Right.
And my roommate at the time was on the door, was stacked up on the door, number 4 on the door, and the first 3 officers were shot, kicking the door. Eric and Jason went down right away, and
Did they not have that info?
They didn't. The sergeant didn't relay it.
Oh my
They
gosh.
were asking. The sergeant was standing down there watching him, and I wish I have enough respect for the guy. I won't say his name, but he stood down there, and it was, and we were hearing the information, and I don't know why it wasn't put out. And Eric and Jason lost their life that day, and I think highly it could have been prevented. I always sit there and second guess that because I saw them go down, so it was kind of.
That wasn't your call, though.
No.
You don't wanna supervise on that call.
The supervisor took all that, but that was just a shitty. That was
Yeah.
a shitty start to. 2004.
And surprisingly enough, part of the reason that I asked Mark to be here and the cameras are facing you guys is because
We're better looking than you?
yeah, that too. But remember, last podcast with Josh, I work out with Josh, so
you work out.
He works outside of the house.
That's what I
in
got
the
for you.
yard.
Okay.
so I had Mark here because you guys have a couple things in common. And Mark, you can talk about that connection there.
Yeah, that day, that was the day that our shooting took place.
The
And,
headshot.
Oh, that was the other one that you had talked about before?
Yeah, so within days of going through our shooting, we're going to the funerals of Officer White and Officer Wolf, and the community support for the funerals of those 2 officers was tremendous. So we're going in this super long funeral procession, and me and my partner in my book Headshot, I refer to him as Pete Ronan, and me and that officer are sitting in the patrol car all in these stupid uniforms rolling down the road, and all these kids are waving these signs that it was debilitating, and we're just bawling in the front seat of that patrol car saying, man, this could have been us because our shooting was so similar to theirs.
Yeah.
That's a rough, funerals are rough, man.
That's,
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, it's
So that's
brought it
one of
home.
the first critical incidents that you remember having.
Yeah, that's I'll give you a little bit more background. I have a small family, so I'm not used to death.
How tall are they? You said small
Just my
family.
immediate family. My mom, my dad, my brother and sister, and I don't know I wasn't close with my grandparents. I wasn't close with my aunts and uncles. Excuse me. I did arrest my aunt one time though. I'll throw that in there.
She deserved it.
Yep, she did.
So,
If you hooked her, fuck, she must have.
she deserved it.
I called my dad and I said, I'm gonna hook her up. He said, go ahead, dude.
Mhm.
But yeah, I didn't go to a lot of funerals when I was younger, so going to these funerals was quite a life-changing experience for me because I worked with these guys. I saw these
First of
guys.
all, I think we should start a law to eliminate bagpipes as
Yes.
a musical instrument.
Yeah.
Fuck.
God.
That's an
fuck that
oxymoron. Bagpipe music?
Yeah.
It's not the
Yeah.
same.
So, how long did you stay in this 700?
I stayed in there till about 2007, but my next critical incident was 2005, June of 2005.
Same area, right?
Yeah, same
700.
area. Give a little background on the call. A guy called and said that his stolen vehicle was driving around the area, and it was at around 24th Avenue in Glendale area. So I'm first on scene, and we're rolling around and come up on it. The guy's outside of the car putting water in his radiator because the car he stole was a piece of shit and wasn't running very well. So he had to pull over and put water in the radiator.
Chose the wrong.
Wrong fucking side of town to steal a car in.
Yeah. So I rolled up and I got in front of him and blocked him off in the middle of the street. And another unit from 900 who'd come over to help had parked behind him. So we kind of had him blocked in. Gave him commands. Dude was a Peckerwood, a white gang. Looked at me and laughed at me, got in the car, reversed and slammed into the car behind him. I saw the officer fall, so I'm thinking, he just killed that officer, and comes towards my car. So I'm thinking, shit, he's going to hit me too. So I fired 5 rounds, hit him 5 times in the face, and my 6th round hit his finger and then killed a trash can outside the window.
Smoked him down.
Well, no, the great thing about it is the guy gets out of the fucking car.
With 5 rounds in the head.
He took 5 rounds to the dome and gets out.
45
what kind
rounds.
of vitamins is he taking?
It's a windshield.
545 rounds to the fucking head. Yeah, obviously the rounds blew apart.
Right.
Starts walking and then drops fucking. He reaches in his waistband. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, and goes down face first. Done.
That's not
So-
how it happens in the movie, so
No,
that
no.
can't
No,
be true.
no.
That can't be true.
It was the
That's
weirdest
fucked up.
thing in the world. The guy looked like a fucking zombie walking at me. I'm like, ah.
And how old were you?
I was. That would have been 24 at the time.
24 years old.
25. Yeah, 24.
24 years old, already
Yeah.
smoked a dude.
And the worst thing about that shooting, I'd seen all the shootings before that. I'd been involved in, like I said, I'd been around them, where they whisked the officer away to Denny's or somewhere to get some food. Well, I was the very first officer on the policy change with Phoenix. So they changed their policy that we are evidence and we stay on scene.
No Denny's.
No Denny's, no pizza for me, no IHOP. No.
Where'd they put you?
They put me in the front of a patrol car with my sergeant and gave him direct orders that I do not go out of the sight, I do not touch my gun belt, I do not touch anything. I am a piece of evidence. I can't wash my hands. If I have to take a piss, he needs to be watching over my shoulder to make sure I'm handling my dick only. I mean, I swear to God.
Wow.
Was that the same for you, Mark?
That was exactly the same, and I never even knew that was going on.
Yeah.
But I said, hey, I got to. The same thing. They like strip all your stuff off you, and then you go back into the crime scene, and you don't have a uniform on. You don't even have your ballistic vest on.
Oh my God, no! They left
And
all my
I
stuff
felt like
on.
it was like a nightmare of going into, showing up at school in your underwear or something.
Yeah.
And I
Jesus.
completely felt naked going back into that crime scene. And I'm looking at this corpse on the floor, and I'm chilling out right now just thinking about it. And so we went there, and the same thing. They take your weapon away from you and all that stuff.
Well, but
So
you went through.
no,
you
see-
went through with all your shit.
Yeah,
on,
they
though,
left
right?
all my shit on, but they left me in a police car for 3 hours.
Yeah, but
And-
but the pee thing.
Wow.
Same thing. I said, hey, I got to go to the bathroom. Oh, no, you're not going to the bathroom. And there was a guy as close as he is to me, like,
Making sure you dropping that piss.
it's just
What
me.
what the fuck? Just out of curiosity, what is the belief system in that? I don't know if
And
they're still
I don't
doing
know.
that. By the way.
I think they're
I don't know.
afraid that you're trying to drop drugs off or alcohol. Or I don't know. I don't know if they think you're drunk on duty, drugs on duty.
What? So
I
what did
don't
that?
know.
What did that do to your psyche?
Well,
Yeah.
and because, and I'd seen all these other officers making phone calls and doing all this, and I'm like, hey, can I make a phone call or do something? Call my rep, call a lawyer, because I'm 24 years old and I just smoked somebody. I'm scared. I'm like, dude, I just killed somebody.
Scared to death.
I'm thinking, I'm now being held as a suspect
I
in
was
a
gonna
fucking
say,
fire.
that's what they treated you like a
instantly
suspect,
feel,
right?
You get that suspect feeling, man.
So,
You go from the team to
yeah, and all
Off the
all
team.
my other friends
Quickly.
on my squad are coming over trying to talk to me. My boss says nope, and I look at my boss. I go, "Am I under arrest?" I can't tell you yes or no on that.
Oh
And
my God.
Yeah.
quote,
that shit.
quote,
Wow.
quote
Yeah.
unquote. I can't tell you yes or no on that. I freaked the fuck out.
wow.
I emotionally lost it because I'm like, oh fuck, what am I? Because I've never been through anything like this.
Right.
Wow.
I'm 24. I'm envisioning prison. I'm
Right.
going to prison. And at one point I said, listen, I'm going to piss myself. You give me a bottle or take me up. So the command van had got there, and I'm like, do. I walk up there, and I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to have 10 seconds alone in the bathroom to catch my breath. I just tried to shut the door. I have 2 people standing at the door watching me. I'm like, do you guys
Yeah.
want to hold it? I was pissed. I was
yeah.
like, you
it's
want to
right
hold
there
it?
in your face, man. It was crazy.
So, yeah, I used the restroom, and they took me right back and threw me right back in the car.
What year was this?
This was 05.
05.
Ours was 04.
Yeah.
So
When
I don't know if what's changed or if they do anything different now. I
Well, they
know
do.
that Since then, in Mesa they took officers
yeah,
away.
in Nate's shooting when we were on there, we whisked them away and we got them something to eat and stuff. They weren't in the car.
And it would make sense that y'all would have to piss after, like.
Yeah, I get that.
Jesus,
You
let
need
them
that evidence. You need to make sure they're not
Come on.
drunk on duty, on drugs on duty. I get all that.
No,
But-
I don't. That's not even
but
what I'm
why
saying.
can't I just
no,
take
she's
a
talking.
normal
She's
pee?
talking about the adrenaline rush.
Your adrenaline
Yeah.
is going to make you piss. Let the motherfuckers
Totally.
piss.
Yeah.
Their,
Yeah.
their piss will be the same in half an hour or
Fuck,
an hour
get 'em-
later. Doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Get a motherfucker a cheeseburger. I mean,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
relax for a
I don't
minute.
know if I'd want to eat it, but okay.
Yeah.
So that's shooting number one.
That's shooting number one.
And-
So after that,
That was a good shoot, though.
good
you had
shoot.
no problems with
good.
that, right?
You know what? And it ended up going very well. The sergeant came on scene, and the homicide sergeant said, "Get his ass out of the car. Let him make some phone calls." And the rest of the night went great. The rest of the night was easy. I barely remember it. I can't tell you the walkthrough through the crime. I remember the shooting to a T, but I can't tell you what happened during the walkthrough.
Yeah.
So did you, after that shooting, did you exhibit any signs or symptoms of acute stress or anything like that? Lack of sleep?
When I went home with a female cop that night that I'd never gone home with.
you
And
do
Wait, is that a good thing?
Hey.
well, I ended up marrying her and divorcing her. So
Okay.
But no, she said that I was having cold sweats all night, shaking, shivering, talking in my sleep. I don't remember anything. I woke up the next day going, "What the fuck happened?"
What about after, like weeks, months after?
It took me about a week to get my bearings back, and I took about a month off from work. I went and did some light duty stuff after that, and went back to work a month later.
How was it
Wow.
when you went back?
It's fine. I felt okay. I didn't, I was
Not
like,
jumpy or?
a little more skittish.
Mhm.
I would say a little more on guard, but nothing that I noticed yet.
Right.
So I knew something was wrong because I was always a little jumpy, but I thought I was just more vigilant.
So you go back to 700.
I go back
Same
to
area.
700. I stay there for about another year. Just the same old stuff, stolen vehicles, chasing bad guys, getting in fights, nothing big.
Regular career going.
Regular stuff. And then in 07, I move up to 900 because I have an issue with a lieutenant. Me and my wife got a divorce, and this is the great thing about the police departments. Me and my wife got a divorce. I'd been in 700 at that time, 5 years. And since the divorce it was a nasty divorce, and I said, "You got to go. I've been here 5 years. You've been here 6 months or a year," or whatever she was on. And they kicked me out. They brought me my transfer paperwork.
Makes
'cause-
sense.
Yeah.
She was prettier.
Yeah.
She was.
Makes sense. No, it doesn't.
Sorry,
It makes
she-
no sense.
She had,
Bitch.
she had boobs.
It
Yeah.
sounds exactly the way the police department
Yeah.
runs.
and it is.
Based on your history, and your
Yeah.
production level, and she's a D.
Based on your ovaries.
That's
Go
bullshit.
ahead.
You're out of here.
So at this point, how many years do you have on?
I got 5.
Seasoned. You're
Yeah,
seasoned at
since
this point.
I've been through
You're
it.
a veteran.
Yeah, I've been through it.
Now you're up north.
I go up north thinking I'm going to go to the slowest area. I need a break. It's just time to slow down for a little bit. I got in that shooting. Oh, and 06 before I left, I forgot to, I'm sorry I left this out. Me and my partner sitting at the I-17 in Camelback, and the Border Brothers did a drive-by on us with an AK-47.
Oh, wow.
Shot the shit out of our car. We ended up chasing them down and they stopped, and I hit their car about 40 miles an hour.
That turned into a shooting too?
No, we didn't shoot them. They gave
Oh.
up, and they threw the guns out and everything. But I was crying after that. I walked over to the side of the road, and I cried. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? But it brought back that shooting. And that's
Was
what-
it a range of emotions of like fear?
Yeah.
That brought that in?
Yeah, it's scary. I was like, oh my fucking... When I actually saw what I did, I was like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck just happened?
Right.
And I went over and sat down on the curb. I brought out my phone, and I just started crying. I was going to call my dad. My dad was my go-to guy every time I needed anything, And I just sat on the curb and cried. I just was like, what the fuck's wrong with me? I got scared.
Yeah.
And this was the first time I realized what real fear was. And, because we all feel, as cops, we're scared, but we turn that into anger or
We override that.
Yeah,
Right.
we have to.
Everything else, yeah.
Yeah.
But for the first time, I sat there and I was a human being and realized that I have fear in my life and that I could have died. And I said, and that's when I left. That's when I said, the divorce is done, everything. And if I have the opportunity, do it. So when they said I got to go, I'm like, fuck, send me up north. So I went up to 900 in Paseo Buff, 35th Ave and Pinnacle Peak, thinking I was going to be, look, there's shithole areas everywhere.
Right.
But, you know, Anthem and everything's up there. I can go up there. So that's the area that I actually got.
It's a working class
Yeah.
area.
How
that's
quiet?
Nicer.
How quiet compared to
Newer
700 is it?
Yeah.
Well,
How
the
much more quiet?
Well, after the first day, it was pretty. It was like the 71 area, like the Biltmore area.
Okay.
It was kind of slow like that. I mean, we had our Met places, and you always have the trailer parks and all that. But it was actually a pretty good place to work. I enjoyed it, you know. But the first day working there, it's funny because I'm going up there to slow down, right?
Yeah.
So my boss at the time, we're very close. We're very good friends, and it's my first day up there. Call him on the phone. He's like, "Hey, boss, how you doing? What's going on? You know, I'm up here. You know, I'm up in this area. Great. You know, it's going to be an exciting day. I'm in 900, the slow area." And get a call of a trespasser at 2310 West Bell Road. It's a Motel 6 up there. And, you know, everybody loves Motel 6. It's just, it's a hunting
They'll leave the
ground.
light on for you, right?
Yeah, exactly. You leave a light on with a pipe and a rig for you.
Here's where I stayed at when I got my divorce.
I've stayed.
That was my live-in.
Unfortunately,
That's
I've
my
stayed there a
commute.
couple times.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just
The
not at
drug-
just not at the 24th Ave and Indian School one.
Oh,
on
man.
27th Ave.
Rough place.
So I tell my boss, hey, I got to go on this call. I advise on the call because I don't know anybody up here. You know, I'm coming from 773 area where I feel like I'm badass. You know, I'm like, then I'm coming up to this guy, meet the people on my squad. I'm like, what the fuck did I get myself into? You got some senior dude who looks like he's 80 years old and shouldn't even be a cop. You got another female who's 50 years old and shouldn't be a cop. And I say that now because I can fuck them.
Fuck it.
Speak your mind on this podcast.
Hey.
So I'm straight up. The dispatcher's asking for a backup, and I'm like, I got it, thanks. I don't need anybody, you know. So I rolled to this call, and you know, at this time I'm 220, 230 pounds. I'm working out every day. I'm like, I'm not worried about anybody. I'll pick them up, throw them around if I need to. I can handle myself. And looking at the guys in my squad, I want to go by myself. So I get there. The details on the call were simple. Trespasser refusing to leave. We deal with that shit all the time. And it said he possibly had a toy gun. I'm like, okay, well, point that shit at me.
Toy
Let's see
gun.
what happens.
Toy gun.
I'm going to win that fight. Well, that ends up happening, you know.
Great.
Yeah, right?
Ask and you shall receive.
I'm there, and I'm thinking, if this guy pulls a fucking toy gun on me, what the fuck am I going to do, laugh at him? So I pull up in the parking lot. The managers, you know, as anybody, with callers, they get outside, they wave their arms because you can't fucking see them already. It's
Right.
like, I know I'm coming to you. Okay, thanks for flagging me down. I see you're in a Motel 6 shirt. I got it. And she's frantic. I mean, she's out there going, hey. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll come see you. I'll get out. I get out, and I walk over there casually. And I'm like, what's up? She's like, he's right behind you.
Oh.
So
Shit.
That's good news.
as I pulled in, I saw a guy who's missing one leg with his daughter in the car, and I'm like, oh, that. And they're just sitting outside. And mind you, this is the middle of June. This is June 2 years later, almost to the date of my last shooting. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give that dude some water on the way out because it looks fucking hot out here. And that dude's just chilling. I'm like, cool. So I drive in. Well, that motherfucker followed me up and had a 380 pointed at my head when I turned around.
What?
So I'm like, she tells me, he's got a gun to your head. And I'm like, what? And she's like, he's pointing a gun at your fucking head. And I'm like, so I slowly turn around, like, you know, it's hard to believe that somebody gonna
Right.
walk up and put a gun to a cop's head. No, sure shit, this motherfucker's within 5 feet of me with a silver pistol pointed at my head. I'm like, that ain't no toy gun.
Oh, shit.
Someone told me wrong. I'm a little pissed right now.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there staring at this guy with one leg in the eye, and I have accepted that I'm about to die, and that's a weird fucking feeling.
Wow.
I tell him, in as calm as day, please tell my parents that I love them.
Wow.
And I'm looking at him, and he kind of cocked his head and lowered the gun a little bit. Well, as I'm sitting there, I push my emergency button. I got my hand right here. I push my emergency button. I put out the 1033, got emergency traffic, subject with a gun at my location, and he's staring at me going, what are you fucking doing? He has no idea I'm putting it out.
Right.
Right.
So once he lowers that gun, I know action is quicker than reaction. I'm going to try to get a shot off. So I come up, start backing up, and I put two in his head and one in his shoulder and drop him. Gunfight's over. But I'm still standing there, and I'm like, what the fuck did I just do? Oh, my God. I look up, there's witnesses
Oh.
everywhere. I'm going, good shoot. And now we're playing that shit in our head.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Oh,
Because I know I'm going to go sit in the back of a fucking
Oh,
car
here we
for
go
3
again,
hours.
right.
I'm like, son of a bitch. So I put out the 998, the officer involved shooting. That first unit rolls up, and I'm sitting there. I got the guy at gunpoint, and I guess she's screaming at me, Justin. And I'm like, what? She's like, "Are you okay?" I said, "I'm fine. Let's go take him." And I'm talking normal. I'm calm right now. I walk up, hook the dude up. The craziest thing in the world is my squad from 700 got up there before the rest of my squad got up there.
That's a hell of a drive, too.
And yeah, it is. And they got there before my other squad. I had a guy go code 6 after the 998 went out.
You're shitting me, right?
On my squad. No,
Code
you're
6
fucking
means
kidding
He's
me.
making a traffic stop while an officer involved shooting.
Yeah.
He gets on your channel and calls out traffic.
calls out a code
my
6.
gosh.
Goes,
It was probably important, though, like no
and that's
signal.
why I was sitting there, like, frozen, going, "Are you fucking kidding?" And I think I started laughing at one point. I'm got my guy at gunpoint, laying on the ground, his daughter's sitting there next to him, and I'm like, I just killed this guy in front of his fucking daughter. And that broke my heart.
Yeah, and this motherfucker's calling out traffic.
How old was the child? Was the daughter?
9. So, so
Man.
I go, we got to do first aid. I know the dude's done. So I go up and do what I do and get blood all over me. Walk around. Good friend of mine sees me and she's like, you got blood all over you. I'm like, it's his. Cleans me off. I go, give me I got to get my cell phone. I'm calling my dad right now because I know what's going to happen. Luckily on that, the sergeants that were up there were a little more seasoned and didn't sit me in a car, allowed me to walk around. My dad came up to the scene. My mom and dad came up to the scene and sat with me because I was fucked up. I was done. I was just like, fuck this. What the fuck? Just another one, 2 in 2 years.
To a quieter fucking location,
Yeah.
too. He's trying to get away from
my first fucking day up there. I'm like, are you kidding me?
That was your first fucking
my
day?
fucking first day up there.
You missed that part of the story? His first fucking day.
Somehow I guess I did
must have
too.
missed that
Wake
shit.
up.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I missed that part too.
Yeah, so
Wow.
it's my first day up there, and I'm like, fuck this, man. I just can't get away from it, because I'm always getting a use of force or something. And
So this is your second shooting in 2 years.
second shooting, 2 years,
Almost
almost,
to
to
the
the
day.
date. Yeah.
Man.
So, and I'm
Fucker.
yeah, I'm going, shit, if this is how my career's going to be, I'm going to be like, fuck, I'm done, man. I don't want to do this anymore.
So this shooting, same drill aside from putting you in the car, but they do the walkthrough.
Do the walkthrough. I remember the walkthrough. I remember how many shots I fired. I remember, I go through it and good shoot. They blessed me. This shooting, I take also a month off. Took advantage of it. Went and worked at Actic, kind of to calm my mind because I wanted to. I was thinking about quitting at this point. I'm like, I'm not going to get lucky the third time. I don't want to do this again. I'm really thinking about not going back. And like I said, they allowed me to go to Actic and work light duty because 2 and 2. I was like, then I hear, there's people out there that got 5, 6, 7. I don't give a fuck about those people. I'm worried about my well-being. And so I go to
Well, but how many of those motherfuckers had the gun pointed at the back of their head that you didn't even know about? Like,
Yeah.
fuck those guys.
Yeah, and right now, with 4th of July just passing, I get triggered really bad with the fireworks.
Yeah.
And it's
I left the country.
We all hide. We all hide.
Everybody
from
hides.
fireworks.
you can ask my wife. We're sitting in our apartment and we're waiting. And thank God nothing happened. Later in the night there was a couple pops, but then we didn't hear anything. So I was like, oh, thank God, because instantly I had that flashback of that shooting. That's the one shooting, and that's my recurring dream. I got a recurring dream of that guy coming through my window and shooting my son vividly in the head, like I saw his head explode, and I'm like.
So that one really haunted you.
That's the one that got me. That's the one that really.
Where do you
fucked me
think
up.
the terror started on that? Because you said, like you had a freeze moment there where you said, he's pointed a gun at the back of your head.
The realization of death, the realization that this time I could die. The car driving at me, I have a chance to stop that, move out of the way.
Right.
If he guns it and goes through my car, I could go under the car and still live. I mean, there's numerous variables that can happen with a car.
Okay.
A gun pointed at your head within 3 or 4 feet.
I don't even think it was. It wasn't him being told that by somebody else because we don't believe people.
Yeah.
Plus, it's probably a toy gun. But when he turns around and actually sees the fucking thing, like,
Well, and
Not that it matters, but was it a toy gun?
No, it was
You
a real,
said,
No,
I know
it's
you said it
308.
wasn't, but
no,
once you-
it was a real 38. It wasn't loaded though, because I could fucking tell. They came up to me and said, "Do you know it wasn't loaded?" Fuck does that matter? He pointed.
No,
at
I
fucking
didn't. It was
no,
loaded.
and no,
It was
and.
loaded.
And
Well,
I
it's-
came loaded to the gunfight and
Yeah.
I won. Fuck you.
So here's the other thing you said tell my parents I love them.
Yeah, that was that would have. I wanted my parents to know that.
So that was like a final declaration. to
Yeah,
them.
because I thought I had kissed my ass goodbye at that point. I was terrified. I was actually there's that terror.
Yeah.
The terror I spoke about on the drive-by.
Sure.
And but I wasn't going to quit. You know, there was that moment that you say, I can just sit here and take this. And I wasn't going to do that. I just, when I said that and I saw his reaction, I'm like, oh, you're fucked. I know I can get my gun up quicker than you can get yours, and if I can't, I'm going to get you somewhere. And like I said, I started retreating when I started firing. And I think the moment after that, when I got to call my dad, is when I broke down. And when I fucking finally realized that, oh my God, I'm alive.
Your emotions flooded.
Yeah. And it was,
Gotcha.
you know, and I told my dad, I was like, hey, I love you to death. I need you up here. I just got another shooting. He's like, what the fuck? Guy goes 33 years, doesn't shoot one person. I'm on 5 and I've shot 2.
So you said you were contemplating quitting. What prevented you from quitting?
My dad.
He talked you out of it?
Yeah, you know, and here's the even worse thing. I took that month off, talked to my dad, was like, all right, cool, you know, I'm here. I'll go back. I'll try. You know, I don't want to give up now. You know, maybe nothing else happens the rest of my career. You know, we can always think, I'll slow down. I won't be the first one to that call. I'll wait for backup. And doesn't happen with me.
Did you think you did something wrong in that? I mean, from the sounds of it,
yes.
It doesn't sound. I mean, I canceled backup before on a trespasser.
And you can't not do it. You can't not be the fucking first one there. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you
Your
can't.
adrenaline's gonna get
It's
you there
just
first.
that's the kind of people that we
Exactly.
are. We're not the fucks that are just
You're
sitting
on
down
that
the
gas,
street.
man. You're
Yeah.
on that gas.
But you figure, you know, you didn't do anything wrong.
No,
right?
yeah,
Like,
no,
looking
no.
back.
Yeah.
But at the time, was it
They second guessed me. They said I should have waited for backup.
right? But I'm saying, going back to your dad, was him? I guess. Do you regret not quitting then?
No,
No.
I wasn't ready.
Okay.
I was still okay.
It would have been a harsh or quick decision. Like, it was just a knee-jerk reaction to quit at that time.
Yeah, I just didn't want to do it again. I didn't want to go through it again.
A shooting.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to do it again. You know, I was like, "Fuck, here's 2. Is there going to be a 3rd?" And I'm like, "What the fuck's going to happen?" You know.
Yeah.
And you always got that thought in the back of your head now. Who am I going to kill next? And you're always now you're going for your gun. Now I'm thinking about the shooting. Now you motherfucker, you do this. I'm a shoot. You know, I'm gonna shoot you.
You're just quicker to draw.
Yeah, and it's like, because after that, you know, that's my flashback. I get that guy with a gun in my head, and you know, just the other day, I'm driving down the road and I look up in the mirror. The motherfucker's in my mirror. I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And it's that quick. And you know, I'm glad that I'm not startled by it because I'm used to it now. But when it first happened, I was like, what the fuck is
So
this?
do you think that, like, your dad's, have you talked to him since then? Like, hey, why'd you tell me not to quit? And
yeah.
What was his thought process in telling you not to quit?
Well, he was proud of me. He was proud that I was able to win the fights, and he said, "Keep pressing on. I mean, you're a man. You can do this. You can. You're not sick. You don't have anything wrong with you. Your mind's gonna play games with you. You'll get through it because I did. And what the fuck, you never been through it.
Well, I was
Yeah.
gonna say
You never shot anybody.
No
Yeah.
disrespect, no disrespect to your father, but he never.
No.
And I want to know if
He never did.
that changed after, you know,
Right.
we go through this process with this guy. Now I want to
Right.
know what Dad says later, but we'll talk.
Well,
about
part of the
that.
reason is because we've had people, right, that have talked about, you know, their family, they're proud of us, you know, and then they put that pride on us, and then we start to put that on our shoulders.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm not a quitter, even though we know we're fucked up.
Well, and to go into further, I go back to work a month later. On my first night back, I went to off duty. I was like, I need to get some extra money. I just missed a month. 999 comes out. 83rd and
Officer involved shooting.
yeah,
No,
sorry.
it's officer
Sorry.
needs assistance, everybody.
Right.
Yeah, so it comes out at 83rd and Cano. I'm at 59th and McDowell. I'm a minute away.
Mm-hmm.
I get there and I see George Cortez laying on the ground with his head blown off.
Yeah.
I turned the fuck around and left. I was the first officer on scene. I fucking left. I was like, yep, see you later. I
Wait,
didn't-
now are we supposed to know that? Is George an officer?
Yeah, he was
George
a
is-
Phoenix officer.
Guys,
George,
first officer
George
got
is
killed
dead.
on the line of duty.
Okay.
And that shooting was over a fucking fraudulent check.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I went back to the off-duty job. I rolled back up. I had a good buddy who's a canine officer. I called him, and the sergeant said, come get my badge. Done. I don't want to do this anymore. And
that broke you.
That night, I quit. I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore.
You know,
And
Did you quit that night?
no, they talked me into staying. They said, hey, it happens to everybody. We all go through this.
It happens to everybody.
Fuck
You
Everybody
idiots.
goes there like-
It does not happen to everybody. There's There's hundreds of
and he
officers.
bought it. He's like, fuck it, must go to everybody. Let's go.
Hey,
do
if
that.
you guys
You know,
are
nah.
feeling the same, I'm staying. Fuck this. Let's go.
That happens to everybody.
My my incident is nowhere near any of those incidents. However, I had the same. I watched an officer almost get shot in the face, and I told myself, or I don't know, I was the one saying it, but I was like, there's no fucking way that I could really see that. Once you've been, and I was an officer for fucking how many years? 13 years at that
13.
point. But there was no way that I could see it after seeing it almost happen and then see my what my nightmares were. There was no fucking way. I was like, I'm this crazy from this incident, much less not even seeing somebody shot in the face. So, fuck. That's what I said.
It was just what your mind portrayed that freak. Yeah.
I cannot do it. I cannot do patrol anymore.
Right. And so you get talked out of that.
Yeah, I get talked out of quitting. I stay, I stay a couple more years. I have a couple babies drowned. We talked, your incident, I'm familiar with that. I have a couple babies drowned on me in my arms, and I had a baby choke on a hot dog and die in my arms, and fire said it was my fault because I went to sweep and pushed the thing down lower, and like, what the fuck else am I supposed to do? Fire said you shouldn't have done anything, waited for us to get here. Oh my God, Mr. Savior, I'm sorry,
Right.
So I had a couple things like that, but in 2008, I decided it's a great idea. Let's go to Maryville.
Oh, that's a fucking war zone.
So for those of you who don't know,
That's like a Walmart.
Maryville is the scariest part
That's-
of the
That's like a
metropolitan
Walmart.
Phoenix area.
It's like the worst Walmart.
That's
Yeah.
that's the
If
that's
if you want to get
that's-
carjacked, just drive through 24th
that's
Avenue. and
Just,
go-
that's just south, one half, on the other side of the street of where that's where my beat was at.
that's
Oh,
the
okay.
eastern part of California,
I'm,
which
no-
is
I'm
East
north.
LA.
I'm North Maryville, and he's in Maryville. Yeah.
So whose bright idea was it to go there?
It was actually mine. They were doing second shift squads, or like backup squads, like they were called Henry squads at the time, and it was a 2 to 8 squad, and we had no beat responsibility, or we were just
you
supposed
could just
to
go in as backups
do
on
what
every
the-
call.
do whatever the
Arrest
fuck.
everybody.
We call it the do whatever the fuck you want squad, and I was like, yeah, Maryville's pretty busy. 10 o'clock in the morning. What the fuck can happen at 10 o'clock?
So you
in
went
the
to day
morning?
shift?
Yeah.
Hey,
So-
so let
Sounds
me
good.
ask you something. So
can happen on
3
day
times
shift.
now.
This fucking guy, he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Could have went to graveyards, but no, let's go to day
Well,
shift.
At least 3 times now you've said, okay, so I wanted to go up north to get out of trouble.
Mhm.
And day 1, you get in your Motel 6 shooting. Then you get into the other shooting.
Mhm.
And now you decided to jump back in the fire. What was going on with you there?
At this point, I had mentally broke, and I didn't care. I had the attitude where I was going to go in, and if anything fucking happened, who gives a shit? Let's go.
You're just reckless now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're just.
Recklessness.
I got to the
exactly.
point where I'm done. I'm going to go to the business part of the fucking town, and let's see what happens.
Were you just looking for
Let's
adrenaline?
do this.
I was.
Yeah.
I was looking for that
Fix, right?
Yeah, I needed.
How are you responding as far as to calls? Were you reckless in that respect?
Oh,
Were
fucking
you
code
wearing
3.
your vest?
I always
still?
wore my vest.
Okay.
That's one thing about me is I
Some
always
people
wore my
have not
vest.
done that.
Yeah.
I had. I didn't want to die. I don't think I wanted to die, but I wanted to challenge it.
Yeah, you want to push the limits.
I want to see how close I can get. And fuck, if it was a shooting, I'm gonna catch that shooter. Fuck the victim. I'm going after the shooter, and that's what we did. And we had that ability to chase people down, and it was good until 2009.
So now how many years you have on?
7. I'm
7
going on
years,
7
2
years.
shootings, 2 kills, and
And a whole lot of fucked up shit.
a lot of shit in
Fucked up
between there.
shit. Yeah, a whole lot of crazy shit.
And you get on the fucking Goliath of roller coasters
Yeah.
and go to Maryville.
I was like, let's see how fast this motherfucker can go.
Let's put this down.
Yeah.
How'd that work out for you?
So, July 2nd, 2009. Yeah, I'm at 72nd Avenue in McDowell, and for all of you that don't know that area, it's a T intersection, but a major intersection. I'm sitting there in a fully marked police Tahoe. You can see my lights. It's really beautifully decorated. Some guy comes running out in the street shooting backwards. I'm like, what's and the other guy comes and starts shooting at him. So I got a full-on gunfight in the middle of the intersection. I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay, I'm in. So the guy's like, he just shot my brother in Spanish, I think. There's something he said, hermano, and pointed at him. I said, okay, that's the bad guy. So I chase bad guy down, get in the middle of the thing. He's too fast. He's a little Mexican dude. I'm never going to catch him. I'm 240 pounds. Not happening. 30 pounds of gear. I'm not catching you. So I'm going through the the apartment. I'm clearing all the little cubbyways. I come to the last one thinking I'm good. You know, he went out and ran off somewhere. I've got the perimeter going. I'm good, you know. Put my gun away. Bad idea. Step one step forward. Motherfucker comes across the thing with the gun. I go to get the gun. Boom. Hit the gun out of the way. Fight's on, you know. Bam, bam, gun goes. We're on the ground fighting.
You're in his apartment?
We're outside the apartment.
Like the hallway?
Yeah, it's just like a little cubbyway.
Okay.
Fight's on.
Is this day shift? Or
This is day shift.
Day
Which
shift.
Nothing happens on day shift.
Yeah.
You know.
So-
You know, Mark.
It's like
That's where I went for sanctuary.
Yeah.
like 11 o'clock in the afternoon. It fight's on. I win the fight, obviously. Bad guy's done. You know, we take him down, fuck him up, do what we need to do, win the fight, but almost died. You know, if that fucking gun, when it went off any closer,
Right.
destroyed my hand in it, destroyed my arm in it.
Can you show your
Yeah.
scar to the camera?
This is the hand injury. This is the scar from the...
What happened to your hand?
Hit the gun. Hit the gun hard, and then I punched the guy as many times as I can. You know, fucked him up. And destroyed it in the fight. And,
It broke it up and
yeah.
muscle tissue. and
13
all that.
surgeries later.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's still... That's where everything started. That's where the fall of...
So before we get into that fall, you're 2 shootings into it. Now you've busted your hand.
Hand and your arm at the same
your
time,
arm.
right?
Mhm.
So how many times were you striking this guy out of this? Were you in some sort of panic and
Jesus Christ, probably 20 or 25.
mania?
Yeah, it was
Because he had a gun and you didn't have your gun out.
yeah, game one, and I didn't know where the
Gotcha.
gun was.
So during this time,
Okay.
to fill in those spaces there, how's your home life? Are you I have to imagine at this point you're just are you drinking a lot? Are you self-medicating? Or
I'm self-medicating on alcohol. I have a baby on the way. At this time, 3-month pregnancy going on, and with dispatcher, good call there.
Call.
of all the women in the world, you pick cops and dispatchers.
You're on a string of great decisions.
Hey,
Justin, anyway.
I've changed.
Not that there's anything wrong with dispatchers.
She's not a
They love it.
dispatcher.
No.
That's why they're together.
I made a better decision this time.
Yeah,
Dispatchers.
stay the fuck out of law enforcement altogether.
Yes.
Dispatchers are phenomenal people.
Yeah, until they get outside their little job.
So what are you exhibiting?
He says that.
What are you exhibiting at this? You're self-medicating alcohol.
Rage.
Anger?
Rage.
Got a lot of anger?
I got a lot of anger.
How's your sleep?
I don't. None. You know, I'm sleeping 2 to 3 hours a night. I take a full year off. And in 2010, I decide I'm going to go back. I have all my surgeries, do everything. This is where the pills come in. This is when I start self-medicating with the pills. They start giving... The first doctor does my surgery and is like, here's 120, 30 milligram oxycodone. You need these. It's like, okay, cool. And
Made you feel better?
made me feel great. I loved them. It made me not think. It made me not worry about what's going to happen. And made me make the dumbass choice to go back to work. But before I went, in June of 2010, I went to a shrink to see why I wasn't sleeping, why I had so much built up anger, why I was having these fucking dreams when I was sleeping, why was I waking up in cold sweats, why did I have this flashback, why can't I be me? I wanted to be me again. I didn't.
When was me gone?
Me was gone in 07.
And this is
me's-
when?
This is 09.
10?
Yeah, 09,
Nine?
2010, yeah. Me started fading away. Me started, when I'd go to a family and be with the family, faded away when I stopped caring. I literally stopped caring about everything. Bills,
Disassociating from everything.
everything.
Was this the meds or just the job?
the job?
The job.
Yeah, the job just took everything away from me. I didn't care because I didn't think I was going to live. It's like, fuck, everything keeps happening. I am done with this. So I go and get diagnosed. I take a couple more months off.
Diagnosed with what?
PTSD.
Okay.
And
Who gave you that?
Who gave me the diagnosis?
Yes.
Crisis Preparation and Recovery, CPR.
Okay.
Up
What-
in Scottsdale.
Did they pinpoint to one particular incident or just the totality of the career?
The totality.
Did you go initiate that
Yes,
on yourself?
I did. Yeah.
I was
You
gonna
did it
say
yourself.
work doesn't know you're doing all that.
Work has no idea what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm to the point where I don't think I can go back.
Can I put a break on this for a real quick second?
Yeah.
So, let's say you're trying to give advice to an officer that's out there now. Would you recommend they get out there and do some
Care?
not self-care, but I mean like what you did? You initiated that on yourself. to go do that yourself.
I would-
and without your department's knowledge.
I would absolutely suggest if you start feeling something like I did or
Yeah.
something like any of us did, start feeling different than you usually are. Absolutely. Because that's what happened to me. I didn't feel right anymore. I was taking more and more pills. I was doing everything to not think about what happened.
Yeah. So I'm
And-
going to come back to the think that you talked about too.
Yeah.
And so I always recommend that too. Man, you need to go get right now. I don't give a dang if you've been on this job for 6 months or you've been on it for 6 years. You go get a self-analysis of yourself on your own dime. You can still use your insurance and your department doesn't know it. They don't know it.
And the thing about it is the really don't feel bad. Don't feel like you're doing something wrong.
No.
A lot of people
No.
think that it's
Don't
wrong
be
to do
afraid of a
that.
diagnosis.
No.
Because at this point, while you're still in control of it, you can help it.
Yeah.
You can stop it. You can stop from coming that train completely off the rails. Am I right?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
what do they give you? Do they give you more meds?
Well, I get to find out I'm allergic to benzodiazepine, so they start trying.
Sorry to hear that. Those are good meds.
That's a big one. They love to give that out.
They're good.
So yeah, they start giving me meds for sleeping, and they gave me trazodone at the time.
Good.
And-
Another good med.
Well, it trapped me in my dreams.
Oh.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm,
So
that's frightening.
that was
That's terrifying.
I would get trapped in these fucking dreams, and I'd be like, Jesus Christ, wake the fuck up. Because my reoccurring dream is, like I said, the second guy I killed comes into my kid's bedroom. He has my kid. I come in there. I've got my gun on him. He put my son. He shoots my son in the fucking head, and I see my son's head explode like I witnessed his. And I see that every night. I
Can
dream
I-
that every night.
Let me ask you this. So away from the incident was you were in a parking lot
Mm-hmm.
at a hotel. When does this stuff come so far out of what actually happened? Do you have an answer for that? Because you see how far it's spun away from the reality of what actually happened to you?
I think
When
it's
did that start occurring with you?
almost immediately.
Yeah.
I think it was 2 nights after the shooting actually
isn't that
occurred.
crazy?
Yeah, and
how fast that
and I did.
evolves.
And the
into
thing is, you wake up and
some
you're like,
madness. You're like, holy shit, that didn't happen.
well,
Why am
no,
thinking
I
about
got
that?
up, I grabbed my rifle, and I'm running
Yeah,
around my fucking
clear.
house going, where's this guy at?
Clear.
And my
Exactly.
ex-wife's going, what are you doing? Why are you pointing rifles at the kids? I said, I'm not. I'm looking for the bad guy.
Yeah.
And he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But
need
yet
it-
you still didn't get help then.
But you need it,
Right?
help, right?
no, yeah, not
Yeah,
yet.
2 years.
That's.
But your
that's the only thing.
comrades, who are not clinicians, said
You're
it
okay.
happens to everybody.
back.
It
Yeah.
happens to all of us.
Yeah.
And I know you guys mean well, but you know what? That's not the right answer.
No,
It's not the right answer.
absolutely not. And I wish I would have listened to myself. I wish I would have.
Good point.
Good,
Great
you know,
point.
because you are your best friend at that point, because everybody's going to tell you the bullshit of, oh, you're okay. Trust me, you're fine. You're not going. It'll go away. It doesn't go away.
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I don't-
Cliches can't help you, man.
Even I left in 2012. It still hasn't gone away.
Right.
But I have managed it. You
Mhm.
know, there's ways to manage it. But when it first fucking hits you, it's like you don't know what to do. And at the time when I was looking for help, there was no help.
Right.
You know, there was go see this counselor who does marriage. I'm like, I don't need you. My marriage sucks anyways. You're not going to fucking help it.
I destroyed that. I blew up every fucking plank there was. So now you're taking benzos for your,
Not taking benzos.
or what are you taking for
taking
your,
trazodone.
Trazodone?
I'm taking Visceral, which is a kind of non-benzo, but
and then you're taking shit for your hand, right?
taking oxycodone 30 milligram, Opana 40 milligram. They're giving the doctor's fucking giving.
Now,
me
are you
anything
abusing
else.
them at the time?
Absolutely, going right up my nose.
You were just snorting them away.
Just
you weren't
snorting
even
them
popping
away.
them at that
I
time.
didn't. I wanted to get high as quick as shit, because the quicker I got high, the quicker I forgot.
So how did you get?
Yeah. How did you
How
go
did
from
you get
taking
from
them?
taking pills to snorting pills?
Yeah.
A friend, a fellow police officer, said it gets you high faster.
That's a great idea.
Fucking
cops.
Say
We know
that-
how to. We
say that
work
in
the
passing
system.
or from knowledge or what?
It was
he
one of
doing
my
there?
close friends told me, hey, why don't you sniff that? That it's gonna.
How did that come up in conversation?
No kidding.
He saw me taking them and asked for a couple, and I was like, absolutely, fuck.
Again with the rules.
Yeah.
You-
I got plenty to knock yourself out. And he's like putting them in a straw, smashing them. I was like, what are you doing? He goes, oh, I'm going to snort them. I'm like, hey, that's a great idea. Let's give that a shot. So, and at the time I was off, nobody's going to know. Who's going to know, right? Who's going to
So
know?
was
Well,
that
you're
guy-
taking your meds.
Yeah, I'm
It
taking
doesn't
my-
say why, you're not doing anything illegal. You're just choosing to snort them.
It may say swallow them, but fuck, well, let's bend the rules.
So just
It's
on
not
a-
even bending a rule. You take them how you want them, I guess.
Yeah.
On a sidebar, so was your friend? Was he like in some crisis mode too?
Yeah,
Looking
yeah,
back in
yeah.
hindsight. now.
Bro,
Right.
he's snorting meds.
Okay,
Yeah.
man.
I'm just saying,
I'm
it
trying
doesn't
to
take
get
a
it
fucking
on the story.
a detective to figure out.
We're trying to build this story. Do you mind?
Dr. Mark's trying to
Yeah.
make sure everyone's
Did you think it was a problem, Justin?
Dr. Phil. So tell
The guy's-
me.
The guy snorting meds.
Oh.
We're building it for the audience who's not all cops.
I don't know.
Help it.
I'm not going to say anything, but
Jeez, man.
anybody in the audience right now is like, hey, if you see your buddy snorting meds, there's nothing wrong with that. Should you ask him, do you have a problem?
Don't snort your meds.
T, do you have a problem you're snorting meds?
Do you think he was thinking that when he was doing it?
No, because he
No,
agreed.
Exactly.
I thought it was a great idea.
I
Yeah.
wish I was close enough to smack him in the face. What the fuck was that?
Listen, if you call this number at the bottom of your screen right now,
Jesus.
and you're snorting your friend's meds,
Give me a call. I'll talk to you.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So.
okay.
Yeah, it became a problem because they really took care of everything. They really numbed everything.
Did it really help you to snort that much? I mean, does it help that much faster?
It mentally, yeah.
Or
I
it
mean,
was? Do you think it was just a?
well, physically, yeah. The physiology of pills, yeah. It takes 45 minutes to dissolve in your stomach. It takes 2 minutes to dissolve in your nasal passage. So yeah, it gets you high quicker. And please, everybody, I'm not promoting it.
This is not a how-to video.
Yeah.
Do not do it. I went to prison for it. Do not do it.
So
That's
now
the
you
rest
get
of the story.
yeah. So now you've crossed that line.
I've crossed the line into drug use.
Well, before we get to your drug use, how much time from snorting your pills into the drug use? Is there a big gap there?
Yeah, 2009 till 2012. 2012 is when I switched.
So during that time frame, how were you? How was your demeanor? How was your work? How was
April of 2010, I got in a bar fight.
on duty?
No, off duty. I was already under investigation for something else, for use of force. I went to a bar with a Springfield 1911 subcompact, little small gun for all you guys who don't know what that is. And with Phoenix, you can't carry anything but Glocks off duty. And I'm like, fuck Phoenix, I don't care. I'm going to carry my own gun. I'm smaller. We all want. I don't want this goddamn brick in my thing.
Right.
And I wasn't planning on drinking.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to a bar. One thing happens. This guy starts talking shit. And he's the size of my wife, and he's 110 pounds, running him out to me, who at the time is 240 pounds, and now steroided the fuck out. And we go outside and I trash him. All Scottsdale PD sees is me hit this guy once, him drop. So I get tased, which that was a fun fucking ride. And my gun falls.
Again.
So I get.
We've all taken a taser.
Oh, yeah.
ride.
Yeah. When I was tased before this.
But they were angry at him.
Yeah, they were mad at
Yeah,
me.
this
So I
wasn't,
take the 5 seconds, and the gun falls out. I'm like, oh shit! He's like, all right, gun.
Don't
I'm
reach
like,
for it.
I'm like, I'm a cop. I'm a cop.
No.
So I get hooked up. They say they're going to charge me with disorderly conduct. The other guy says I don't want to prosecute. I called the dude out. He whooped my ass. Nothing. So I'm thinking, I'm going home. I just got to tell Phoenix, please contact. I took a 5-second ride. I'll get a little reprimand.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen. A lieutenant comes over, and a female lieutenant in Tempe, or Scottsdale, which I knew who she was because I told her to fuck off now. Comes over and says, we've called your department. They're on their way out here. And I'm like, son of a bitch. The only thing I'm worried about, the fight was fine. The guy said he called me out self-defense. I'm good on the fight.
Yeah, right.
I'm worried about the gun.
Yeah.
Right.
And like I said, I'm already under investigation for use of force. So they come out, and I'm thinking, they tell them all about what's going on. My friend who comes to pick me up grabs the gun, starts walking away. They're like, hey, we need to see that. And I'm like, son of a bitch. So I get a fucking 40-hour suspension for an unauthorized weapon.
Well, it happens. It's just 40 hours. You didn't get fucking shit canned.
That's serious, though.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Serious.
So now you talked about some steroid use in there.
Yeah, I got on steroids in 2005. A doctor prescribed. We were the big steroid scandal in 2004 with the city of Phoenix. I wasn't involved in that. I didn't start using them until after that.
What was the purpose?
Well, you were trying to rehab your arm at that point, weren't you?
Yeah. Well,
So-
no. This is before the shooting.
Oh,
this
I
is
see.
before I did
Okay.
that. The steroids, I wanted to be bigger. I wanted to be stronger. I wanted to be
Like
Re-
me.
Were these
Come on, people.
were these
Before and
oral
after.
steroids that
No,
they were
they're
giving you?
injectable.
Injectables.
Yeah, and like I said, all prescribed from a doctor.
Now,
know.
were you, the doctor doing that, or were you doing that?
What do you mean?
The injectables.
I was doing it myself. Yeah,
Fuck,
took
I'm
them
scared
home
of
and
needles.
why? It's
No, that's not
go
that
work
easy.
out, you get big. It's,
No.
it's the quickest way to get big.
So, on top of the rage you had
Now I introduced this
from PTSD, now
then-
you're on roid rage,
Yeah,
and then you get in this fight.
yeah. I
Right.
trashed
Well,
it.
that ain't gonna help you.
Not
No,
at all.
No, not at all. Don't do steroids.
Are we keeping track? Are we marking the bad decisions? What are we up to?
One after another.
What are we up to now?
Jesus.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got
Can-
off. I got off that train at
Yeah.
my friend snorting my medicine.
Yeah. Somebody, I would have stepped off that train.
And he's got a tit picture on the phone right here. Jesus.
Yeah.
Whoopsie. Oh, whoopsie.
That's not a bad decision. That's not a bad decision.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to see that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call that out.
Yeah. So, anyways.
I can't not answer that.
It was his own.
Answer that phone.
It was his own. Don't worry about
Those
it.
are mine.
Don't worry about it.
Woohoo! Just give me some beads.
Yeah. Only in this fucking podcast
I
will
know,
somebody.
man. There's no nudity on this
Yeah.
podcast.
Well, there's plenty on your phone apparently.
I look over and I see a pair of tits. I'm like, what the hell is that?
He got a text.
I can't not
I'm
answer.
And
sorry.
just- yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to see that. Jesus Christ.
I don't care that you
Oh,
see it.
jeez.
I care that you just put it out over the airwaves.
Yeah.
So your friend's snorting your meds.
So we're back to snorting meds.
Yeah. It's just so you know, when I would have saw the snorting meds, I would have got off the train. I would have been like, "Hey, we're done here, people." So,
yeah.
so you're back. Now you've made what I would think would be every possible bad decision.
Yes, I'm spiraling down,
And
I go to the city of Phoenix. And
Are you angry at your department already?
No,
'Cause
I'm
it
going to them now. This is the point where I'm stepping up and I'm going to them and I'm going to ask for help.
and so you go to them.
I go to them. They send me to the Employee Assistance Unit, which there's an article in the newspaper about me, in the Republic about them assisting me. They wanted me to tell how great they were, which they didn't do a fucking thing for me.
But you're going to them for what reason?
To tell them that I have PTSD and I need help and I'm addicted to pills.
And you'd been diagnosed.
PTSD, yeah.
How long? prior to
It
this?
had been 6 months.
6 months earlier, you got diagnosed.
So
Well,
you're
you hadn't been in trouble yet. You hadn't been in trouble prior to asking for help.
No, I'd been in trouble. That's after I got in a fight.
Well, after the bar fight.
Yeah, I went.
That was it.
But
I
that
w-
was
that was
the-
it. Yeah,
the-
that was it.
Okay,
nothing
so-
on the department. Nothing on the department where I was in.
Okay.
You know, my last investigation was because I didn't do a fucking report on something.
Who
It
hasn't had
happens.
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so just for
We
clarification,
don't like paper.
just for clarification, you've already got your adjudication from your IAs. So it's not like you're going there in lieu of trying to say you got PTSD
No.
because
Right.
you're going to get fired.
That's what I was going
No.
Everything's cleared. You did your 40 hours off. You have no open investigations.
Yeah, I'm going there with my own behalf because there's something wrong with me. I'm not sleeping. I'm angry, and I feel that I'm gonna fucking kill somebody or I'm gonna kill myself.
Okay.
I'm suicidal at this point.
So we will wrap it up, but before we wrap up for today,
Sure.
next week we'll get into where we're going to end this. But you go to your department. What do you tell them?
Tell them that I have PTSD, that I'm afraid to be on the streets, and I can't do it.
And you're addicted to
Pain pills.
pain pills.
Pain pills.
And what is their response to that?
They put me at code enforcement. And they asked me to paint a fucking curb red. That's when I lost.
Did they get you any help?
No.
Were you
they-
armed? Were you still in uniform?
They said they're going to put me on light duty, and they sent me to some fucking doctor who had no association with the police department, who I think literally did marriage counseling. I think that's a funny thing because I've heard it mentioned in here a couple times.
Yeah.
This guy had no fucking clue what I was talking
Right.
about when I said, this
Yeah.
is my problem. They're like, well, we'll fix it with these antidepressants. And I'm like, I'm not taking those. Fuck you. I'm not taking those.
Because the
And-
side effect of those is suicidal thoughts.
Yes,
And
and
you're
I'm
already
already
going-
suicidal. I've already
Sure.
gone out to the desert a couple times and
Afraid
put a
of it.
fucking hole in my roof of my car.
Which
trying
we
to
didn't get to at all.
No. This is this time. This is where we're at in the story. I'm asking for help. I'm going out to the desert. My dad's having to come find me because I'm done. I'm ready to end my life because I don't want to sleep anymore. I'm not sleeping. I'm making tons of bad decisions. I'm on my. I know I'm going to lose my job. I know.
How's your depression level? Are you like
Oh,
crying
I-
over ridiculous things?
I'm watching stupid ass cartoons crying. I'm
I
looking.
know. I hit a butterfly and I broke down. Looking. I'm like,
Cartoons
"Oh
can
my
be sad
God."
though. Cartoons
So
can
are
be sad.
butterflies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've completely lost it.
So you go to them and they put you on light duty to paint curbs.
They put me on light duty and tell me I'm going to paint curbs.
Do they get you any help for the addiction that you
No.
tell them you have?
No, because they know I have a prescription, and they say as long as you're prescribed, you need to seek help.
So
Right.
what was your options counselor-wise when you found out that this person is primarily counselor for, I don't know, marriage or reading your tarot cards or whatever the hell they...
You know, at the time,
Contract these people
at the
for.
time, there wasn't even a lot for military personnel because that's what I looked for. I was like PTSD for military because it was unheard of right now in the police department.
Sure.
Nobody had PTSD in the police department.
What year?
2010.
Okay.
And they sent me to a couple different places, gave me a couple names, and when I went in there and talked to these fucking people, they had no idea what to do.
Yeah.
Because
What year was your shooting, Mark?
05.
05?
04. I'm
04?
sorry. 04.
Okay, so we'll leave it off there. You go to your department. They send you to light duty to paint curbs, and you've got no help. They're aware that you're abusing. You've openly told them, "Look, I'm addicted to these things." What would you say was your usage at the time of your abusing the narcotics?
20 pills a day, 30 milligrams,
Oxy?
oxy.
That was for pain and sleep, or just pain?
Pain was gone. It was just for me.
Oh, so you were just.
I faked the pain to get the script.
What were you getting out of it? What were you getting out of it? Was it a high?
The
Or
high,
an-
the
or
high
an
was
escape.
gone. The high was gone. It was an escape.
Exactly.
It was an escape. The high was gone. The high was gone a long time ago.
Right.
You know, because you get used to them. This was shut my fucking brain down.
Right.
This was I don't want to
Stop
think
the
about
chatter
this. Yeah, I
and
don't
the
want to
cloud.
hear the radio traffic when I close my eyes at night.
Right.
I don't want to
Yeah.
see this guy coming into my window every night. I want to sleep,
Right.
and it helped. It really it was the one thing that helped me.
So we'll leave it there, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next week. Right. And as always, Mark, T, this is new to you, but to us and those like us, even though you got some water there. Next week I'll make sure I got one of these for you, right?
Thanks.
All right.
Everybody hang in there.